My beloved brothers and sisters, every single day that dawns upon us is a gift. Each sunrise carries within it a hidden opportunity, an invitation to do good, to serve, to heal, and to leave behind traces of kindness that never fade. Life is not measured by the wealth we gather or the power we hold, but by the impact we create through the good we do for others. When we choose goodness, we choose to live a life of meaning. Too often people assume that good deeds must be grand or extraordinary. They think it requires wealth, status, or fame. But in truth, the simplest act, a smile to a stranger, a helping hand to the weak, a kind word to the broken-hearted, carries immense value. Sometimes what seems small in your eyes could be the very act that transforms someone's entire life. Never underestimate the ripple effect of even the smallest kindness. And let us remember, doing good is not about recognition from the world. You may give, and people may never thank you. You may help, and people may even forget you. But the one who matters never forgets. Every deed is written, every intention is recorded, and every act of goodness is rewarded beyond imagination. When you do good sincerely, it is an investment that never fails, both in this world and the hereafter. So as we reflect today, ask yourself, what legacy am I leaving behind? Am I filling my days with goodness, or am I letting opportunities slip away? Because when the final chapter of life is written, it will not be your wealth or your fame that speaks, it will be your deeds. Let us explore together how doing a lot of good deeds can transform not only our lives but the world around us. Life is a fleeting journey, a short passage that begins with a cry and ends with silence. No matter how long one lives, compared to eternity, it is nothing more than a blink of an eye. Yet within this short span lies the most powerful opportunity, the chance to plant seeds of goodness that will continue to grow even when we are no longer here. Every moment that passes is an opportunity gone, never to return again. The wise person is the one who values time and uses it for what truly matters, doing good deeds that bring light to the heart, comfort to others, and reward in the hereafter. When we pause and reflect, we realize how quickly the days roll into months and months into years. Many of us look back and wonder, where did the time go? But the real question is, what did we do with the time given to us? Some may spend their days chasing wealth. Others may pursue recognition, but the truth is that wealth will fade and recognition will be forgotten. What will remain are the deeds we performed, acts of goodness that we sowed in the soil of life. Each deed, no matter how small, becomes like a seed. You may plant it today, but it can grow into a tree that provides shade for many tomorrow. Consider a kind word spoken to someone who was on the verge of giving up. That word may strengthen their heart, allowing them to continue. Or think of a smile given to a person who felt invisible. That smile may remind them that they matter. These are not monumental tasks, but their impact is immeasurable. Sometimes we assume that doing good means building schools, giving millions in charity, or changing entire communities. While those are great acts, the truth is that most of us are given daily opportunities to do good in small, consistent ways, and these small actions, done with sincerity, accumulate into a mountain of goodness. Life is short and none of us knows when our time will come to an end. Death does not send a warning before it arrives. It takes the old, the young, the strong, and the weak. The only shield we carry into that inevitable moment is the record of our deeds. This is why it is so important to fill our days with acts of kindness, generosity, forgiveness, and service. When you help someone in need, you are not only easing their burden, you are preparing provisions for your own eternal journey. When you forgive someone who has wronged you, you are not only freeing them but also cleansing your own heart. Each good deed enriches your soul while leaving behind a fragrance that lingers long after you are gone. Imagine if every moment of your life was treated as a chance to give, to smile, to support, to uplift. How different would the world around you look? How much lighter would your own heart feel? The reality is we often wait for big moments to do good. while ignoring the daily opportunities in front of us. A neighbor who needs help carrying groceries, a friend who is silently struggling, a family member longing for your time and attention. These are all openings to plant seeds of goodness. And when those seeds are planted consistently, they create a garden that will flourish, even when you are no longer here to water it. The greatest comfort is that no good deed ever goes unnoticed. Even if people forget, even if your kindness is ignored or even rejected, every single act is recorded with the one who never forgets. Life may be short, but the impact of good deeds is eternal. A single sincere action can outweigh years of negligence if it is done purely for the sake of Allah. Therefore, every breath, every step, every opportunity must be seen as a chance to contribute something meaningful. So let us not waste the precious time we have. Let us value each moment as a gift, a moment in which we can choose to plant seeds that will blossom long after we are gone. Because in the end, life will pass like a dream, but the garden of good deeds you leave behind will remain as a testimony of how wisely you used your time. Good deeds are often misunderstood. Many people imagine them as great, extraordinary actions, donating vast amounts of wealth, building institutions, or making public sacrifices. While these are indeed noble, the beauty of goodness is that it is not confined to the grand gestures that only a few can achieve. The truth is that real goodness lies in the small, sincere acts that are within the reach of every single one of us. A kind glance, a warm greeting, a simple smile, or even holding the door open for someone. These small acts of kindness carry a weight far greater than we may ever comprehend. They do not require wealth, position, or status. They simply require a pure intention and a willing heart. Think about the world we live in today, fast-paced, demanding, and often overwhelming. Many people around us are silently struggling, burdened by loneliness, stress, or heartbreak. A single kind word or small act of compassion could change their entire day, sometimes even their entire life. Imagine a person on the verge of despair who suddenly receives a message of encouragement. That one moment could restore their faith in humanity, rekindle hope, and push them toward a brighter path. Such is the power of small good deeds. They are subtle yet life-changing, quiet yet loud in their impact. It is also important to remember that good deeds are not limited to material help. Yes, giving charity is a great act of kindness, but even those who do not have much wealth to share are not deprived of doing good. Smiling at someone, visiting the sick, comforting the grieving, or simply listening attentively to a person who needs to be heard, all of these are powerful good deeds. They may seem minor, but their value is immense. Sometimes lending your ear to someone's pain is more valuable than giving them money. Sometimes making a person feel valued and loved is more meaningful than providing material support. In reality, every small gesture can become a means of healing. The beauty of small acts of goodness is that they are often contagious. One small act can inspire another, creating a chain reaction that spreads far beyond what the original doer could imagine. A smile given to someone could make them smile at another. A kind gesture received might push someone to pass it forward. And just like that, a simple deed multiplies into countless unseen blessings. When you throw a pebble into the water, it creates ripples that spread outward. Likewise, one good deed can create ripples of kindness in society that go on and on. Unfortunately, many people underestimate the significance of these small actions. They believe that unless their deed is recognized, recorded, or celebrated, it does not hold value. But in reality, the small acts done sincerely are often the most beloved in the sight of Allah. A person may walk past a thirsty animal, offer it water, and earn forgiveness from their Lord. Another may remove a harmful object from the path and be rewarded with paradise. These examples remind us that goodness is not measured by its size in people's eyes, but by the sincerity of intention and the mercy of the Almighty. Another remarkable aspect of these seemingly small deeds is that they become a source of inner peace for the one who does them. When you help someone, even in the smallest way, it lightens your heart. It makes you feel alive, purposeful, and connected to something greater than yourself. This is because goodness nourishes the soul. It creates a sense of fulfillment that material possessions can never bring. A person who dedicates their life to small, consistent acts of kindness will find themselves surrounded by tranquility and contentment. Their heart will carry a light that no hardship can dim. So the next time you feel you have nothing great to give, remember that your smile, your kindness, your presence, and your compassion may be greater than you think. Life is not built on a few extraordinary moments, but on countless ordinary moments filled with small, consistent actions. If you fill each of those moments with kindness, you will have lived a life of extraordinary impact. Let us never underestimate the value of a small act, for in the eyes of the Almighty, even the smallest deed may weigh heavier than mountains. Every human being longs for peace. We spend much of our lives searching for it in material possessions, relationships, achievements, and recognition, yet true peace often feels distant. What we fail to realize is that peace does not come from external circumstances, it is born within the heart. And one of the most powerful ways to cultivate that inner peace is by engaging in good deeds. Every act of goodness we perform purifies the soul, washes away the stains of negativity, and leaves behind a sense of calm that nothing else can provide. It is as though good deeds are nourishment for the heart, filling it with light and tranquility. Think of the times you have done something good for another person without expecting anything in return. Perhaps you comforted someone in distress, gave charity quietly, or forgave someone who hurt you. How did you feel afterwards? More often than not, you felt lighter, calmer, and more content. That is because good deeds cleanse us internally. Just as dirt accumulates on the body and requires washing, sins, grudges, and selfishness weigh down the soul. Good deeds are like pure water washing over the heart, leaving it clean and refreshed. They are not just a favor to others, they are a form of self-healing. There is a deep spiritual connection between goodness and inner peace. When we act with kindness, compassion, and sincerity, our hearts align with their natural purpose. The soul was created to incline towards goodness. When it is deprived of that, it feels restless, anxious, and heavy. This is why people who live selfishly, harming others, or neglecting acts of kindness often feel a deep emptiness inside, no matter how much they achieve. On the other hand, those who dedicate themselves to helping others, even in small ways, carry an inner serenity that cannot be shaken. It is not wealth or fame that makes them happy, it is the purity of their deeds. Good deeds also have a powerful way of easing guilt and regret. Every human being makes mistakes, and these mistakes often leave scars on the conscience. But when we engage in consistent goodness, those scars begin to fade. A person who spends their days serving others, giving generously, or showing compassion will find that the weight of their past gradually lifts. This is the mercy of Allah. He allows good deeds to erase the effects of sins, replacing darkness with light. Imagine a heart covered in stains, and with every act of kindness, a portion of that darkness is wiped away until the heart shines again. That shining heart is what brings the true sense of peace. Another dimension to this is that good deeds remove envy, hatred, and bitterness from within us. When we live only for ourselves, jealousy of others takes root, and resentment can easily poison the heart. But when we focus on doing good, on serving, on giving, we stop comparing ourselves to others. Instead of competing for worldly gain, we compete in kindness. This shift in focus transforms the heart. It replaces negativity with compassion, rivalry with generosity, and hatred with love. The result is a peaceful soul that finds joy in the success and happiness of others, rather than feeling threatened by it. We should also understand that peace is not only about what we feel internally, but also about the harmony we create around us. When you do good deeds, you contribute to building a peaceful environment for others as well. A kind gesture to a stranger, patience with a difficult person, or forgiveness towards someone who wronged you can change the atmosphere in ways you may never see. Peace is contagious. When you live with sincerity and goodness, you inspire others to do the same. And as goodness spreads, the environment you live in becomes more peaceful, which in turn feeds back into your own soul. So if you are searching for peace, do not search for it in wealth, status, or possessions. Instead, look within and ask yourself, how many good deeds am I performing daily? How often am I extending kindness to others? Because peace is not a gift that falls into your lap. It is the result of consistent goodness that softens your heart and brightens your soul. Every good deed you do is not just a favor to someone else. It is an investment in your own inner peace. And when your heart is at peace, no hardship, no loss, and no challenge in life will be able to shake you. When you look closely at the nature of goodness, you will realize that doing good for others is, in reality, doing good for yourself. Many people assume that when they help someone, they are sacrificing their time, energy, or resources. They think they are giving away a portion of what belongs to them. But the truth is that every good deed you perform comes back to you in ways far greater than you can imagine. You may not see the return immediately, but the blessings it brings into your life, whether in the form of peace, protection, or unseen rewards, are always greater than what you gave. Life has a mysterious way of returning kindness, often when you need it most. Imagine a person who shares food with someone who is hungry. On the surface, it seems like that person has less food for themselves. But in reality, what they have done is invested in something eternal. They have brought joy to another, lifted a burden, and earned the pleasure of Allah. The one who received the food may forget, but the act is recorded forever. The giver may not realize it, but on a day when they themselves are in need, that very deed could come back to save them, sometimes in this world, and most certainly in the hereafter. When you help others, you are in fact securing help for yourself. There is also an unseen spiritual law at play. What you send out into the world returns to you. If you spread kindness, you will receive kindness. If you show compassion, you will find compassion when you need it most. Many people who live with generosity and open hearts often find themselves blessed in ways they never expected. Their affairs become easier, doors open for them, and even in times of difficulty, relief comes swiftly. This is not a coincidence. It is the natural consequence of a life filled with goodness. By doing good for others, you are building a shield of blessings around yourself. Good deeds also nourish your own heart more than anyone else's. When you give, when you serve, when you show mercy, your heart expands. You begin to feel a joy and contentment that cannot be bought with wealth. Think about the times you helped someone without expecting anything in return. That feeling of fulfillment, of knowing you made someone's life a little better, is priceless. In fact, it stays with you long after the deed itself is done. While the recipient may benefit from your action once, you continue to benefit from the peace and satisfaction it brings to your soul. Moreover, when you focus on doing good for others, you train yourself to think beyond your own worries and struggles. Many times people drown in anxiety because they are too focused on themselves, their problems, their needs, their shortcomings. But when you extend yourself for others, you shift your focus outward. You begin to realize that everyone is carrying burdens, some heavier than yours. By helping to ease someone else's load, you often discover that your own load feels lighter. This is one of the secrets of life. Selflessness heals the self. The more you give, the more you grow. Another powerful reality is that good deeds create a ripple effect that often returns to you indirectly. You may help someone today, and tomorrow someone else helps you in a completely different way. The kindness you show may inspire others to be kind, and eventually that circle of kindness reaches back to you. Even your children and future generations can benefit from the goodness you spread, because the legacy of good deeds outlives us. Your kindness plants seeds in the hearts of others, and when those seeds grow, they often bloom in ways that bless your own life or the lives of those you love. So when you think of doing good for others, do not think of it as a sacrifice or a loss. It is not time wasted, nor is it energy gone. It is an investment in your soul, your peace, your future, and your hereafter. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you share, the more you are blessed. Doing good for others is simply another way of doing good for yourself, because you and the people around you are deeply connected. What you give out flows back to you, and when it returns, it comes multiplied. When we think about good deeds, we often focus on the action itself. helping the poor, feeding the hungry, forgiving someone, or speaking kindly. Yet the truth is that the value of a good deed lies not only in the act but in the intention behind it. The heart of a deed is the intention. Two people may perform the same action, yet one is rewarded greatly while the other gains nothing, simply because of what was in their hearts. This shows us that the sincerity of intention is what transforms an ordinary act into something extraordinary. Consider a person who gives charity. If they give to be seen, praised, or admired, their deed may bring them recognition in this world, but little or no weight in the sight of Allah. On the other hand, someone else may give a much smaller amount, quietly, without anyone noticing, purely out of love for their Creator and compassion for the one in need. That small act may carry immense reward because it was done with a pure intention. It is not the size of the deed that matters most, it is the state of the heart that performs it. Sincere intention purifies an action from selfish motives. When you do good solely for the sake of Allah, you are no longer concerned with how people view you. You do not care whether anyone thanks you or even notices what you have done. You are not motivated by applause, status, or acknowledgement. Instead, you are motivated by love, by compassion, and by the knowledge that the Almighty sees every hidden act. Such sincerity brings peace to the heart because it frees you from the burden of seeking validation from others. You no longer need the world's recognition when you know that your Creator is aware of every deed. Another important aspect is that intention can elevate even the simplest of actions into acts of worship. Eating, sleeping, working, or even smiling, if done with the intention of pleasing Allah and following His guidance, become good deeds recorded in your favor. A mother caring for her child with love, a student seeking knowledge with the intention of benefiting others, a worker striving to provide halal income for their family, all of these everyday actions transform into sacred deeds simply because of the purity of intention. This means that the opportunities for goodness are endless as long as the heart is aligned with sincerity. Intention also protects us from arrogance and pride. Sometimes when people perform visible acts of goodness, they may feel superior to others. This pride can destroy the reward of the deed. But when your intention is pure, you realize that goodness is not from your own strength or virtue. It is a blessing granted to you by Allah. You understand that you are merely an instrument of His mercy, chosen to be in a position where you can help or serve. This humility keeps your heart soft and ensures that your deeds remain accepted. It is also true that intention can change the direction of an action altogether. A deed that appears good on the outside may be worthless if the intention is corrupt, while an act that seems small and insignificant can carry enormous weight if the intention is pure. A kind word spoken without sincerity may pass unnoticed, but a single heartfelt prayer, whispered for someone else, unseen and unknown, may open doors of mercy for both you and them. This is why it is essential to constantly check our intentions, purify them, and renew them. The beauty of intention is that even when circumstances prevent you from carrying out a deed, you are still rewarded if your intention was sincere. If you long to give charity but do not have wealth, your sincere desire counts in your favor. If you want to visit the sick but are unable to, your pure intention is recorded as though you had done it. The mercy of Allah is such that He rewards us not only for what we do but also for what we truly intended to do. So as you move through life, remember that every good deed begins in the heart. Purify your intention, make it sincere, and align it with what pleases Allah. This will ensure that your actions are not wasted but carry eternal weight. When the heart is pure, even the smallest deed can shine like a star. And when the intention is corrupt, even the greatest act may fade into nothingness. In the end, it is not about how much we do, but about why we do it. A deed done with sincerity is timeless, and its reward is boundless. As we reflect on the journey of life, it becomes clear that nothing lasts except the deeds we carry forward. Wealth will fade, beauty will wither, and status will be forgotten, but the good we do remains as a testimony of our existence. Every kind word, every gentle smile, every act of service, and every sacrifice made with sincerity becomes a treasure stored for us in the hereafter. Our true worth is not measured by what we possess, but by what we give. The legacy we leave behind is written not in material possessions, but in the hearts we touched and the lives we made better. Doing good is not just about others, it is about us. It shapes who we are, it heals our hearts, and it draws us closer to our Creator. Every deed is an opportunity to turn ordinary moments into extraordinary ones, to take something simple and transform it into a timeless act of worship. Life is short, but the impact of goodness is eternal. So let us fill our days with kindness, generosity, compassion, and sincerity. Let us leave this world knowing that we planted seeds that will continue to blossom even when we are no longer here to see them. The choice lies before each of us to live for ourselves or to live for something greater. Those who choose goodness never lose, for what they give comes back multiplied. Their hearts find peace, their lives gain purpose, and their hereafter is filled with light. So let us not delay, let us not wait for tomorrow. Let us begin now by doing a lot of good deeds with sincerity, consistency, and love. In this way, we will live a meaningful life and prepare for an eternal home filled with reward and mercy. Thank you, my brothers and sisters, for taking the time to reflect on this important message. May you be inspired to seize every moment as a chance to do good, and may your days be filled with acts that bring peace to your heart and light to your path. Remember to carry these words forward, share them, live them, and remind others of them. May Allah bless you always with the strength to do good and accept it from you with mercy. Thank you once again, and may peace be upon you.